Perspective is a way to represent three-dimensional spaces in a 2D plane. In one-point perspective, you'll see a horizon line that represents your eye level. Everything above the horizon line, it's like you're looking up at it, and everything below, it's as if you're looking down at it. Somewhere on that horizon line, you'll have a vanishing point. All lines will recede and meet at this vanishing point. In this photo, you see the rails and the train tracks all meeting right there. I want to see if you can locate the horizon line and the vanishing point in the next several pictures. Next, I'm going to show you some basics of drawing a scene with one-point perspective. Start by using a ruler or a straight edge to make your horizon line. Somewhere on that horizon line, you want to put a small dot to be your vanishing point. I just put mine close to the middle. Next, I decided to draw a house. One-point perspective works when you're looking at the front side of something, or any side really, as long as you're looking at it straight on. So here I drew the front of a house, and now I'm going to use my ruler to connect all of the points to the vanishing point. So I drew from the bottom of the house, the bottom of the roof, and now I'm going to do the top of the roof. There's also a tiny point where the left side of the roof runs until it meets the house, but it would still match up to the vanishing point if it went all the way through. Next, I decided to draw the back of the house. That should be a vertical line, just like the front of the house. The back of the roof should be parallel to the front of the roof. So just try to get the same angle, but notice how it gets smaller as it goes further away. Now that I've drawn the back of my house, I don't need those connecting lines anymore, so I can go ahead and erase them. Any details that you draw on the front of your building will be undistorted, so you don't have to worry about doing anything to change the angle. If you decide to put any details on the side though, the horizontal lines are going to connect to your vanishing point. So I drew the front edge of my window going straight up and down, so it's vertical. I connected those to the vanishing point, and then when I drew the back side, it shrunk, and I was able to erase the lines that I no longer needed. That's the basics, and I could continue to add more details, but I figured that was good enough to get you started. Now I want to show you a tall building that overlaps much more up above the horizon line. So I'm making kind of like a skyscraper. So I drew the front side that's facing directly at me, and then once again connected the top and the bottom to the vanishing points. I don't have to do the far side because it would be covered up by the building. Since my building's not see-through, we don't have to draw from the right corners. So once again, I connected those and erased the lines that I no longer need, and then I can start to add some details. I decided to add some rows of windows here. So once again, on the front, the lines are straight horizontal. When I finish drawing the lines on the front, it's time to connect them on the side, making those points go all the way to the vanishing point. I like to line up my ruler and then just rotate it a little bit to go to the next point when I'm doing something repetitive like this. Next, I decided to add a street that's going right down the middle between the house and the skyscraper. You can make it as wide as you want. Just remember, it's going to form kind of a triangle when it goes all the way to the vanishing point. Then I added a line down the middle. Next, I'm going to show you how you can use one-point perspective to make some really cool letter designs. You can do your initials or even a short word. Once again, I'm starting with the horizon line and a vanishing point. And then I'm going to draw some block letters. This really works best with block letters because it gives you points. So here I'm doing a K and I'm just kind of drawing it as a shape instead of making it with lines. If you're not sure how to do a block letter, you can lightly write the letter large and then draw the shape around it, like I'm showing here with this M. After you've drawn the shape around it, you can erase the line that you no longer need in the middle. Remember, anything below the horizon line, it's like you're looking down. Anything above, it's like you're looking up, like this J. After you have your letters drawn, it's time to connect each of the points to the vanishing point. So I'm looking at the corners, starting with the middle. I think that's easier. You do need to check any other points on your letters. Now, the K has to go from the corner until it runs into that other leg, but since I don't want my letters to be see-through, I stop when I meet another side. You can either keep it as if it's zooming really far into the distance, or if you want your letters to just look three-dimensional, but they stop, you're going to use those parallel lines and draw basically the other edge until it meets those vanishing points. If that's a little confusing, that's okay. Just basically try to match the angles. I'm connecting the points on my M the same way that I did on the K. Only now they're all going to stay below that horizon line instead of overlapping. Letters with curves can be a little bit tricky, but what I tend to do is line up one part of my ruler with the vanishing point and then rotate it out until I hit the widest part of the curve of the letter. That's the easiest way to do it. If you choose the option to do letters or words for your project, it's okay to put them all in a row. You don't have to put them in 3 different locations like I did to demonstrate, but you could if you like that style. I prefer to trace the edges of my letters and the lines that go back to the vanishing point with a thin marker. I just like how this looks. You don't have to do that step if you don't want to, but it kind of just makes it more bold. Afterwards, you're welcome to color these in with markers or colored pencils. You could either do some shading to get light and dark, or you can just make it solid bright colors, whatever style you prefer. Once you've finished outlining, remember to go back and erase any extra lines that you don't need or any pencil marks that still show, so you're just left with your nice crisp lines.